Hello, level casters. Welcome to your daily dose of world news. Let's find out what's happening around the globe today, May 12, 2026. News 1 of 16. First, to the Ukraine war. The European Union has put sanctions on officials because of child abductions. Around 20,500 children have been taken to Russia or Russian-controlled areas. Kyiv is under drone attack as a 3-day ceasefire has ended. Sirens are sounding in the city. An art installation is also highlighting the issue of these stolen children. News 2 of 16. Next, the Middle East crisis. The cost of the U.S. war on Iran is increasing. Pete Hegseth and other officials had to answer questions in the House about how much money is being spent on this war and military actions. Also, a secret attack by the UAE on Iran could bring other Gulf countries into the conflict. This war is causing an oil shortage, which has forced a Japanese snack company to use black and white packaging for its products. News 3 of 16. Now, an update on the hantavirus outbreak. The World Health Organization is telling countries to get ready. A French woman who got the disease on a cruise ship, the MV Hondius, is now in intensive care and using a breathing machine. Australian cruise passengers are traveling to Perth for a long quarantine. Experts are explaining what hantavirus is and why people need to stay isolated for a long time. News 4 of 16. The United Nations has warned that mass starvation could happen if fertilizers cannot pass through a very important waterway. This blog about the warning is now closed, but the concern remains. News 5 of 16. In the Bahamas, an election is happening with 3 main groups competing. One key issue for voters is immigration. The rising cost of living, like high gas prices, is also a big concern in this election, which expects a record number of voters. News 6 of 16. Reports suggest that a Russian ship, the Ursa Major, which sank near Spain, might have been carrying nuclear reactors to North Korea. The ship went down after some mysterious explosions, and Western military forces may have targeted it. News 7 of 16. Moving to a historical point, during the 1979 hostage crisis in Iran, 10 Black Americans were freed before the other hostages. Sergeant James Hughes, one of those released early, talks about being handcuffed under armed guard. This story is being discussed again as U.S.-Iran relations are in the news. News 8 of 16. Bosnia and Herzegovina is facing problems because of a disagreement in policy with the United States. Christian Schmidt, who is leaving his position, says this multi-ethnic country might break apart due to pressure from both the U.S. and Russia. News 9 of 16. Hezbollah's inexpensive $300 drones are causing challenges for the Israeli military. This non-state group has learned from the war in Ukraine to create drones that use cables. These drones can avoid the advanced defense systems of a state army. News 10 of 16. The number of people forced to move within their own countries because of violence or conflict reached a record high in 2025. This number, 32.3 million, is now higher than the number of people displaced by natural disasters for the first time. In total, 82.2 million people are displaced around the world. News 11 of 16. For our Tuesday briefing, we have news about Keir Starmer's last chance speech. Our policy editor discusses what he said, how potential challengers to his leadership have reacted, and what might happen next for him. News 12 of 16. There is chaos in the Philippines. A close friend of Duterte, who is wanted by the International Criminal Court, has taken refuge in the Senate to avoid being arrested. This former police chief, Ronald De La Rosa, spent the night at a Senate office after another Duterte ally offered him protection. News 13 of 16. French President Macron is looking for new allies and a foreign policy that is less connected to France's past as a colonial power. He is doing this at an Africa summit, reaching out to new partners after some difficulties in relationships with his country's former colonies in West Africa. News 14 of 16. In sports news, Botswana has become a top country in men's sprinting. This country, with only 2.5 million people, credits its success to investing in young athletes. However, this progress is now under threat. News 15 of 16. Police in Sicily are investigating an illegal race involving horse-drawn carts and Kalashnikovs. Horses were taken away, and several people were questioned after an animal rights activist shared a video of the race happening on country roads. News 16 of 16. Finally, Israeli members of parliament have approved a special court that can give death penalty powers to judges for those accused in the October 7 attacks. The Knesset has agreed to plans for trials in a military court that will be broadcast live, which some people are comparing to the 1962 trial of Adolf Eichmann. Outro. That's all for today's World News Update, Level Casters. Keep practicing your English, and we'll be back with more news soon on Levelcast.